if you need it at any time. Polls and questions are going to be taken. So please just come along with us on this nice webinar today. And also we'll also provide you with a free copy of the TCM Model Resolution Policy for all attendees. Please enjoy the webinar. Now, just a little bit, I know some of us already know what TCM does. Just pretty short synopsis about what we do in TCM. TCM empowers people, and we organize, as an organization, we adopt new approaches to disputes and complaints resolution. Emphasis is on protecting relationships while securing lasting and sustainable outcomes. It's all about helping people and parties to be able to get the best of whatever their intentions are when it comes to dispute resolution. Also, the PMA is a non-for-profit organization which facilitates and develops the provision of mediation within society. Sorry guys, my name is Bola Ogini. I'm one of the resolution consultants within the business here. And I've got my colleague here.
Hi there, I'm Gemma Horsfield. I'm the Administration Manager for the Professional Mediators Association. Thank you everybody for attending today. This is the running order for the webinar. We will be moving on shortly to Giuseppe Leone, who's based in Hawaii. So he's prepared a short video for us today. And then we're going to move on to Andrew Dane, Independent People Management and Employment Law Specialist, accredited workplace mediator also. And we have Alberto Elisavetsky. I hope I pronounced that okay. You can pronounce it later for us. Founder and Director of Online Dispute Resolution Latin America, based in Argentina. And hopefully we're going to have Ijoma on Her Majesty's Online Courts in England and Wales. Okay, just moving on. So we've done a little poll today. I don't know if, can you see the poll? Let me just put that up for you now. Have you ever used online dispute resolution? I'm going to launch that poll now and give you a minute or so to answer that, if you can all do that for me. Okay. That's it. Right, I'm going to close that poll now. And let's share the poll. So we have 83% of you have voted. 6% of you have said that yes, you have used online dispute resolution, and 91% you haven't. So hopefully this will be a very informative webinar for you today. Okay, so moving on, we've got Giuseppe Leone. First of all, like I said, he's based in Hawaii, so he's prepared a short video for us, especially for us today. So I'm just going to move to that straight away now.
Hi, I'm Giuseppe Leone. Thank you so much for inviting me to your webinar.
Right, unfortunately we're going to have to move away from that video. So we're going to move on to Andrew Dane. Hi there, Andrew.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
That's really unfortunate.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you, thank you. Right, we're going to start off with your presentation then, Andrew, if that's okay, because unfortunately nobody can hear the video. So is it okay if we move swiftly on with you?
That's fine by me.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to start your PowerPoint. I'm going to mute myself now. Okay, so here you go. This is Andrew Dane.
You've got my slides, I say. Yeah, good afternoon to you all. My name is Andrew Dane, and I'm a workplace mediator who's enthusiastic about the business opportunities that online mediation can open up for mediators. To make that point, on April the 8th, 2016, I participated in an international online mediation simulation of a workplace case, both in English and Persian, with me as the mediator in England, the parties in Iran connected with their smartphones, and the Persian-English interpreter in Iran with his iPad. You will learn today some pros and cons, challenges and opportunities about international mediation in 2 languages. So the topics are the setup process, what could be developed more in this area, and what this can mean for mediation and those using mediation. Next slide, please. Could I have the next slide, please? Right. First of all, we need an interpreter. And sourcing a proficient dual-speaking interpreter who has an understanding of both cultures, which is vitally important, and who is efficient at understanding of the sometimes technical descriptions and interpreting those to the comprehension of all parties involved in the mediation. What it means is we have different cultures when we're talking, and people think differently and they act differently and respond differently. So we have the interpreter. If we could go to the next slide, please. The platform, we prefer to use Zoom, which can be downloaded free from Zoom US. It's an extremely good platform, and I've done a number of simulations with Giuseppe Leone and found my way around it. So if we can move on to the next slide. Utilizing technology. The parties to the online mediation are in the safety and security of their own home or office. The parties may be placed on hold whilst on private conversations and are discussed with one party or the other or with the mediator. Online mediation is particularly useful in the case of the parties who may have a disability, which makes travel or to a face-to-face meeting challenging. The sometimes disconcerting experience of anyone taking notes, as in face-to-face mediation, is not seen in an online mediation, as the parties cannot see each other's hands or what notes they may be taking. Travel, room hire and other expenses are not required for online mediation, therefore reducing costs involved in the more traditional face-to-face mediations. Global online mediation with an interpreter has the potential to bring greater understanding to various cultures and countries throughout the world, and has the added benefit in a small but effective way of perhaps allaying any perceived anxieties that possibly may not have been fully understood. Finally, global online mediation with the use of technology, which will only improve, presents potentially tremendous business opportunities for those who are willing to step out of their comfort zones. If we could just go back to the interpreter, please. The mediator, if we could go to the mediator slide, yeah, the platform one up. We've got the platform. If we could go to the interpreter, the mediator, yeah. The mediator, he almost, or she, must also have a basic understanding of both cultures. When I completed the online global mediation in dual languages, I was fortunate to have an interpreter who understood both cultures, and I'm fortunate to be able to have a basic understanding of both Persian and European cultures, so it gave me a great advantage. A lot of times I've found that the disputes have been traditionally resolved in Iran by means of an arbitrator, which makes the decision, as we all know, on behalf of the parties rather than a neutral mediator. So that was quite challenging to get the two parties to be able to talk to each other. And also, online global mediation with an interpreter takes longer. It takes, I have to get the question or the statement to the interpreter. The interpreter must interpret this into the particular language, and the response comes back in that language, and the interpreter must then translate it to the English. And it can be very time consuming, but it does have the advantage of giving you longer to respond to some of the questions or reframe the questions. We're not 100% there at the moment, so it's a bit by trial and error. It does take more time, and the different cultures. Not only are the parties cross-border speak differently, they also think differently according to the social values ingrained in their different cultures. As a result, mediators need to be particularly tactful when they deal with culturally sensitive issues, like the parties need to save face with their family members, superiors, colleagues, or how they are used to offer or accept an apology. And also the mediator has to be very careful not to upset or to transgress any of the cultures in the during the mediation. So the mediation went fairly well. I learned a lot from it, but as I said, we're at the early stages of developing this, so we'll do it by trial and error, but it did have advantages. And if we could go to the slide, which is the map, please. As you can see, we were in the UK, the mediators were in Iran. You could do it anywhere, and Giuseppe Leone, who was the coach in this particular instance, was based in Hawaii. The video and audio were perfect. In fact, the participants and the interpreter used their day-to-day iPads and iPhones to conduct this mediation, which went extremely well. All you need is a good connection, a reasonable internet connection, and the technology, a webcam, which iPads and iPhones have, or a PC, and the thing worked very well. So I would like to just summarize what we've talked about today. Future developments, markets that are opening across the globe, especially in the Middle East, Iran in particular, with the some of the sanctions being released. 60% of the population in Iran are under 30, well educated, and many are proficient in English dual language speakers. And many international companies are already doing business in Iran, including BMW, Samsung, Henkel, Nestle, British Airways, British Petroleum, Boeing, etc. And of course, you may not know, or you may know, that this year we've set up the British Iranian Chamber of Commerce to assist companies in the UK to deal with businesses in Iran. I think this is led by Lord Lamont. So, just summarizing again, there are great advantages in online mediation. The parties can be in the comfort of their own home. They don't have to travel, which is definitely a cost advantage. And they can, they may not wish to be in the same room as each other. I seem to have lost something. They may not wish to be in the same room as each other. They can be in the safety and convenience of their own office or room. So it is challenging. It was challenging, but we learned a lot from it. And I would like to welcome, if you have any questions, please. I'd be able to answer them.
Okay. Has anyone got any questions for Andrew there? Waiting. Someone's coming through. How do you build a rapport online? Asks Dorothy.
Have I filled a report online?
How do you build rapport with your who you're mediating?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing that correctly. Have I?
Andrew, the question is, how would you build rapport? Rapport online.
How do I build rapport? Right, okay. What we did before we had the simulation, we met in the afternoon because the two parties in Iran had never ever, they didn't understand mediation. They were well educated, they spoke Persian and some English. But we met in the afternoon online and talked to each other and established some rapport. My interpreter was very, very good. He was able to interpret my comments to the parties, and the parties then we got to know each other. So we did build rapport earlier than the simulation. We had about half an hour talking to each other quite informally before we began, and then normally during a mediation, as you know, we would see the parties individually and talk to them and perhaps build rapport that way. But in this instance, we had about a half an hour in the afternoon, which was fine. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, okay, we have another question here for you, Andrew. Would you need any special further training as a mediator? Oh, and Dorothy says.
Yeah. Yes, I've participated on a 2-hour online mediation training with Giuseppe Leone using the software, which is the Zoom software, which is quite, I'm still practicing this. I'm not 100% proficient, but I'm practicing, and practice makes perfect. So yes, it's a different technique, online mediation. I've probably done about 7 simulations in the UK and the USA with English-speaking parties and mediators, and I've learned that the questions you give are much shorter, and it takes a while to use the technology, but it certainly has advantages.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. We have another question for you, Andrew.
Sure.
What kind of mediation model are you using? Simon just asked that question. What kind of mediation model do you use?
The mediation model we use is probably participative.
I hope that answers your question, Simon. Andrew just...
And transformative sometimes.
Okay. We have another question from Mary. Mary wants to know what is the time process in the when it comes to the one-to-one meeting. She also wants to know, can this be planned for a day, and how long will the process be online? She wants to know what is the time of the process when it comes to the one-to-one meeting, and can it be planned during the day for one day, and also how long will the process be online?
Well, okay, the time, of course, we're talking to different time zones throughout the world. For instance, Iran is 3.5 hours earlier than us, so we planned the mediation fairly well in advance so that everyone was online at the same time. We didn't have any difficulties, and the time taken is probably, I would say, mediation online seems to be achieved quicker than face-to-face mediation, and probably the regular time would be about an hour and a half talking to both participants. We would meet them before, probably for about 15 minutes each. So I would say the total process on median would be 3-4 hours during the course of the day, which would resolve most mediations, I would say, which I particularly specialize in workplace mediations, because my background is employment law and HR management, people management.
Okay, another question for you, Andrew, is can you please tell us some of the benefits? Some
of the benefits of online mediation, I'll recap them. The main benefit, of course, is cost. You know, there's no travel to the venue by the participant or the disputant. The other benefit is that the people say you don't see the body language, but of course you can. It's exactly the same as being in the room. I had my misgivings when I first started this, but after I'd done some simulations, I began to see the benefits, which were extraordinary. The benefit is that the two participants may not wish to be in the same room together, so they can be in the comfort of their own office or their home. If there's one of the parties is challenged by a disability, they don't have to travel. You can use, the technology is there, iPads, iPhones, PCs, most people have them, and it can be resolved very quickly. The other thing is, as you know, that sometimes during a mediation, one party wished to make comments to the mediator privately, and in this circumstance you can actually put one of the disputants into a room and they're on hold. We would tell them we're going to be about 10 minutes, and they wouldn't hear anything, and then you could bring them back, and if the other party wishes to speak, they could go into a room just exactly as you would in a face-to-face mediation. But the benefits are pretty good.
Thank you for that, Andrew. We've got 2 more questions. I'll take one now. I'll tell you one. Rita just asked, once you get voluntary agreement, how was that confirmed? Was it verbally or in writing?
Okay, that's a very good question actually, because with the Zoom software we can actually put on the screen a Word document, and we can type up the agreement, the memorandum of agreement. Simply say, because A agrees to do this and B agrees to do that, and then we go through that. It's a great advantage actually, because we don't have to type. We can type the thing on the screen, both parties see it, and we could get them to digitally sign it, put it in PDF format, and off it goes to the parties.
Hope that answer your question, Rita. Another question actually is coming in thick and fast now. How can you ensure, this from Dorothy. Dorothy wants to know, how can you ensure confidentiality if participants are each in their own space?
Okay, that's another extremely good question. At the outset of the mediation, we have some ground rules, and one of the ground rules, we ask the participants, are you recording this? And they have to confirm that they're not, and we have to ask them to affirm that there's no one else in the room, because the nature of mediation is confidential. So, and I respond by saying that I'm not recording this mediation and that there is no one else in the room. So we've got an agreement that we're maintaining confidentiality, which, as we all know, is extremely important.
Correct. Thank you for that, Andrew. I'll just take 2 more questions and then we're going to move on. Susie wants to know, does Zoom.us allow us to practice simulations?
Yes. The best way to participate in the very good experience, Giuseppe Leone, as we saw earlier, and you'll hear him speak later, Giuseppe offers a workplace mediation on a global scale. You just register on the Virtual Mediation Lab website, register your interest, and you can participate in online mediation simulations of civil, family, workplace. You can either be the party or the mediator, whichever. It is challenging, no doubt about that, and very strange, but once you've got over the initial hurdle and got out of your comfort zone, it's very rewarding.
All right. Lee, also, finally, the last question on this particular topic is, did the parties have their legal representatives with them? If not, is there scope for the legal reps to attend from another location?
This is another extremely good question. The legal representatives, if they wish to have their legal representative, we can have the legal representative online with the Zoom platform in a separate room and bring that person in whenever he's needed. It's very, very flexible, the Zoom platform, as you learn if you do go on it. So yes, they may have their legal representatives there in another room. Exactly as it is in a face-to-face mediation.
Yeah, Lee just acknowledged, I said, excellent, thank you for your answer. That's very good. Guys, thank you so much for all the questions that you've asked Andrew this afternoon. Definitely very interactive and very good questions. Andrew, do you have any closing thoughts you want to give to the delegates?
Yes, I've over the past 3 or 4 months, I've emailed a lot of my HR colleagues and various people I know and urged them, if they're interested in, and mediators, if they're interested in workplace mediation online global, that they could register with Giuseppe to do the simulations, and a lot of them have said that they're frightened by it. Well, of course, we're all frightened by it. You must overcome that. Try it, see how it works, and I'm sure that you'll be completely taken with it as I am.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It's been a privilege, and I believe everyone has picked up some valuable tips and pointers from you regarding using the online to resolve conflict, which I think is really very good. And you had it all from Andrew, everyone. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, thank you. Now we're going to move on to our next panel. Our name is Ijeoma.
I'm afraid we're going to have to move on to Ijeoma because I've lost Alberta, but I'm trying to get him back. So I'm going to go straight on to Ijeoma. So I'm going to unmute you now, Ijeoma. Are you there?
I'm here, yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Ijeoma. Okay.
Hello.
Ijeoma is going to do her presentation on the future of law in online dispute resolution. And you're based in England, Ijeoma, so so I'm just going to let you take over. Just let me know.
Thank you.
The slides.
Thank you.
Mute myself now.
Okay, TCM introduced. My name is Ijeoma. My presentation is Future of Law, Online Dispute Resolution in England and Wales. Online dispute resolution is part of the evolving concept ongoing in the technological world. We have online shopping, online education, online virtually everything. So online dispute resolution is in conformity with regards to all that. Initially, lots of people had their reservations about online banking, but at the moment in the trend, most people prefer to do their banking matters online as opposed to going to the bank itself. And that's the way law is going to evolve into in a couple of years. Online dispute resolution is about resolving disputes online using either of the platform. Either you go to the arbitration or mediation, even litigation at some point will be online. So most things we have at the moment is just the basics of online dispute resolution, which is evolving. In England and Wales, the US has actually gone far ahead of most countries in the world. England and Wales is about to conform or join the League of Online Dispute Resolution Practitioners. In February 2015, there was a BBC radio interview with Professor Richard Susskind. He spoke about the emergence of online courts and how it's going to change the landscape of law in England and Wales. He did advocate that online dispute resolution is inevitable. To remind people and listeners, Professor Richard Susskind did predict some years ago that email was going to be the next form of corresponding with disputants. Most lawyers felt it was impossible, given most disputants rather see the client, see the lawyer face to face. But as you and I know, is the norm today. Most litigants or disputants actually correspond with their lawyers through email. And Professor Richard Susskind did predict this over 20 years ago. He's come up with this notion that online dispute resolution is inevitable. As such, in his BBC interview in February 2015, he said that online courts will come into emergence in England and Wales sometime 2017. That makes it next year. He said the reasons are obvious. They're inexpensive, they're faster, and obviously it cuts across jurisdictions. So someone in Manchester that's got a dispute with someone in London wouldn't need to travel all the way to London to resolve the dispute. It could be done through online dispute resolution, either for a mediation case or arbitration case or any other type of case that's got to do with dispute resolution. Professor Richard Susskind is the president of law and computer, so he knows a lot about the emergence of computer and technology in a changing world with regards to law. Legal aid, as we all know, has come under so much scrutiny and has had lots of courts. And a lot of people who actually use the legal aid are those who are financially incapable of paying the cost for legal services. As such, they actually end up having legal aid. But because of the current cuts by the government on legal aids, a lot of people with low income are being unrepresented for their cases, from immigration to family, personal injury, etc., etc. The advantages of ODR are immense, from being instant, being inexpensive, as I said earlier on, but most importantly with online dispute resolution. The primary importance of online dispute resolution is the access to justice. With online dispute resolution, there is an agreed advantage, which is everyone will have access to justice because of the obvious inevitable advantages. The current judicial system is dependent on having the parties and the witnesses give evidence face-to-face, but with online dispute resolution, this is actually taken care of because it crosses across borders, crosses across locations, so that wouldn't be a problem. That makes online dispute resolution appealing to both those with financial capability and those without the financial capability to pay for their services. Next slide, please. The other argument has been, would online court be a threat to small claims court? The small claims court here with regards to family court, the county court, sorry. The county court deals with small claims. With online dispute resolution, the essence of online dispute resolution is to actually cut down the number of cases, make it accessible to everybody. So in terms of that, online dispute resolution platforms will run alongside with the county court, the small claims court in England and Wales. At the moment, Professor Richard Susskind is in talks with other people who are interested in online dispute resolution to come up with something that will work to take care of people's needs with regards to the England and Wales jurisdiction. So at the end of the day, online dispute resolution is about tailoring your needs to fit the jurisdiction you're working. There is no pattern that says it has to be this way. As I said earlier on, it's evolving, it's changing with times, with new technology, with lots of things, ideas. There's lots of talks all over going on online dispute resolution, how it's going to come about. So at the moment, online dispute resolution in England and Wales is still in the fundamental discussion stage, but by 2017, which is next year, all this would have been taken care of. So the issue of whether online dispute resolution would be a threat to small claims courts, such as the county court, that wouldn't be a problem because they're going to work alongside, because some cases would actually require being taken to the county court regardless of the presence of online dispute resolution platform for mediation or for arbitration or for facilitating things. Next slide, please. So how would the online courts work? The online courts will be made accessible to everybody. That will give people the opportunity to bring in their cases. As I said earlier on, online courts is all about making justice accessible to everybody. It will deal with documents. It's going to be more of a document presentation platform for both mediation and for arbitration. But at some point, there will be human element, but on the back side. And the human element here will be a qualified judge, who could be the qualified mediator or the qualified arbitrator. Well, at the initial stage, both parties, regardless of the jurisdiction, will have to submit the papers well beforehand to the judge in charge, who obviously will go through these papers. Because there's a platform, then the online court starts with the platform. The platform will actually take in the materials. Then the judge, who is the mediator or the arbitrator, will be on the other side to go through this paperwork and determine the way forward. There'll be online assistance because, as you can imagine, there'll be lots of difficulties, technicalities, unresolved issues. And as we all know, technology has its own way of sometimes not being as you expect it to be, as efficient as you want it to be. So there'll be someone at the background to actually help out because it's obviously upcoming. We all see that in online banking. We all had our reservations initially about online banking, online shopping and all that. But right now it's more or less the norm because most people are used to it. They understand the way it works. And there's been some instruction and some education on how online banking, as an example, works. So that's the same way online dispute resolution will emerge. There'll be some background education, background instruction too. All this will actually help people get comfortable with the whole concept of resolving disputes online. Online dispute resolution has immense potential in this world, in this 21st century. It's amazing the way online technology is moving in virtually every aspect of our life. And online dispute resolution is bound to be part of the phenomenon going on. Online dispute resolution will focus mostly on small claims as opposed to the big claims like murder. You can actually have online dispute resolution resolving disputes like murder or manslaughter or capital offense or other capital offenses or big, remarkable, complex cases. That wouldn't be feasible at this stage. However, the AAA, the American Arbitration Association, did say last year at a conference in New York that it actually had a proposal to resolve a very big dispute. The jury is still out on how feasible that will be. We're still watching the space to see how AA is able to resolve these big complex cases. But as we all know, America is always willing to delve into big things or big possibilities. Next slide, please. Online course would definitely resolve small claims because it's of inexpensive nature, because it's easier, it's faster, as well as the fact a lot of people want to get into it. It's accessible. And the online course will be deemed as the Her Majesty online course, which obviously will have the seal of the justice system in this country. They will decide cases with parties while interacting electronically. It could be through Skype, Zoom, online webinars. It could be any platform as long as it's online platform. It's going to be more affordable, user-friendly, as I said before, and because of the technical background and technical assistance given, lots of people will be in tune and willing to be part of the whole concept of online dispute resolution. And it has a lot of potential to save money, save traveling, it's actually, you could stay in the comfort of your office and resolve a dispute with some other person in Manchester, in Norwich, or it's just a matter of the fact that it cuts across jurisdiction, location, it cuts across, it helps, it's timely. The other downside to it is the technological mix-up, because sometimes we all know these things could let you down, the technology could let you down. You could have a problem logging into your Skype or the Zoom, or there could be something down with the internet. But the positive side to it is that we all know that there's a provision being made to cater to all these eventualities when they do occur. But the point is that it's very accessible. It's going to be groundbreaking when it comes into fruition next year, 2017. Next slide, please. The Incipio Working Group, Incipio is keen on advancing the importance of B2B, business to business, as well as business to consumers, reach to technology. As such, there was incorporation of the Incipio Working Group on ODR in 2010. This was to address the issue of technology regarding law. With the convergence of lawyers, practitioners, stakeholders at the United Nations regarding online dispute resolution, it became a think tank where people could come and talk about the issues at stake and the potential of moving law to the next level, which is within this, which is going to be within the ambit of online shopping and online banking, etc. As such, people came together and was a global platform to make sure that online dispute resolution has a regulation that will be globally acceptable both to businesses and to consumers, because it became inevitable that e-commerce was becoming a big thing. We have all heard about eBay being able to resolve a dispute amicably without problems, and it's been amazing because eBay has become the yardstick to judge ODR. According to eBay, its platform, its online dispute resolution platform, is able to resolve over 35 million disputes annually. That's quite remarkable, I must say. And given the success of eBay, lots of platforms, Amazon, PayPal, they all have their own platforms now. So they resolve disputes, small claims dispute between buyers and sellers. So there isn't the need to go to an external body to resolve a dispute. It's just done there. As I said before, the online dispute resolution is essentially for small claims as opposed to big claims. It's mostly for small claims. The ODR rules were deliberated on based on consumer protection needs in developing as well as developed countries. Developed countries, with regards to the US and the EU states, are keen to see something globally acceptable to both jurisdictions start working. And as such, most of them are looking forward to the Incipio working group's verdict on the working group's document. The last session was held in March this year, 2016, and a document was produced, technical notes were produced and submitted to the General Assembly of the United Nations. And the conclusion was that the verdict will be given, the decision of the United Nations on the technical notes will be given by the summer of this year. That makes it sometime between June and July. We've been given a date of July. I was part of the people negotiating on what to look out for and what to have in the document. The essence of the document is to have something the consumers will be happy with, businesses will be happy with, everyone will be happy with, because a regulation is really important to move law to the next level. The ODR working group, Incipio ODR working group, address issues of cross-border electronic commerce transactions, as well as protecting the consumer. Next slide, please. Having said this about ODR, there's potentials for ODR on the global stage, and for England and Wales with the introduction of online courts in 2017. That sounds more like something positive, and we're all keen to see what Professor Richard Susskind and his team will come up with regards to online courts in England and Wales under the premise of Her Majesty's online courts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ijeoma. Thank you so much. Just want to put out a quick tip there. Do we have any question for Ijeoma? Just any one or two questions from the participants? I know you mentioned earlier, Ijeoma, about the benefits of the online dispute courts.
Yeah.
Question, Sarah just gave us a question. She said, what happens if one party insists on face-to-face at any point in the process?
Sarah, thanks for the question. That's a good one, and it came up in the Incipio working group a couple of times. Before you can get into online dispute resolution, there has to be a mutually agreeable contract that states that both parties are open to online dispute resolution. So with that agreement, the contract in place saying that both parties are in agreement to online dispute resolution, it puts everything at ease. Then there has to be a formal agreement between both parties that they intend to use online dispute resolution as opposed to face-to-face resolution of the dispute.
All right, thank you so much, Ijoma. Really appreciate your time this afternoon. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, right. We've got Alberto back now. Alberto, can you speak up for us? Are you there?
Yes.
Yes.
Luckily.
I've unmuted you. Fantastic. We've managed to get you back here.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So I can't get you to manage your presentation because I've got you in as a attendee. So I've got it for you though. Are you happy with me to manage that? Yeah? Okay, right, let's just get that. There we go. Okay, so go ahead, Alberto. If you can introduce yourself to everybody for us, that would be great.
Okay, thank you very much, Gemma. Well, nice to be here with you. I'm the founder and director of Online Dispute Resolution Latin America and also director of the CMediar project. The first one is a non-profit organization. We are working from 2005 because I'm, like Ilje, fellow of the Center of National Center of Technology Applied to Dispute Resolution at Massachusetts University, and CMediar, it's our online dispute resolution service. Next, please. Okay, I will roughly talk with you about what are we doing regarding online dispute resolution and the judiciary in Latin America. And basically this started as a chaos. As Ilje told us before, there are no specific regulation or a legal frame for ODR coming from the ODR working group, and basically each country in Latin America where are we working, it's trying to get into this field with a different approach. Next. That's why I'm sharing with you our idea that we were working as from ODR Latin America in different projects, in different countries, with different tailor-made approach, because regulation in some cases allow using online dispute resolution, and but basically we are facing a tremendous resistance from practitioners and a tremendous resistance from politicians. In fact, society in general was much more willing to accept online dispute resolution, but there was a lot of issues that practitioners on courts, they were not willing to jump immediately into the online dispute resolution pilot program. Sorry. Next, please. We have been working in different countries in different projects. Today, because of the time that I have allowed to do, I will be very roughly, but we are working in Mexico, in Brazil, in Ecuador, and in Argentina, which is the country where I'm based. Next, please. And the question what we began talking about ODR and the possibility was, who is first, the chicken or the egg? Because we weren't able to have cyber or e-mediators if we don't have real life cases coming out from courts, and we won't be able to mediate online if we don't have real cases. That's why we jumped, in the next slide please, in our CMediar project. CMediar in Spanish means simulación de mediaciones a distancia. In English is distant mediation simulation. That's why we started working in two aspects. And we got several students, two of them coming from 14 different universities and public organizations to cooperate in our first training. Next, please. Okay, we got 14 academic sponsors. Each academic sponsor provides to us 2 students, and we train them in 2 different issues. Technical skills, you have been talking today about Zoom, GoToMeeting, etc. We are using digital Samba for our trainings. And the most important, there were no protocol regarding what online mediation skills were necessary. For example, how to handle emotions in the virtual space, because it's not the same if you have someone crying in a mediation in front of you than you have someone crying through a webcam. Next, please. Hello? Next slide, please.
Alberto, have you got the next slides up?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we've got them up.
Okay, go ahead because we are short of time. If facts, I was talking about facts. 2012, ODR Latin America signed an agreement with one of our provinces in the north of Argentina, Salta, in order to start a pilot project with real cases. We set up 70 community mediation centers in different areas and different cities of the provinces. Next, working in different pilot projects in different provinces, in 3 provinces on our country. We are in different stages. In Salta, we already have a lot of mediations. We are working now in other 2 provinces, but the idea, we are working in distance. Next, please. We are working in distance co-mediation. I repeat, distance co-mediation, and also we are working in a different project which is ODR, and we are working also in domestic violence. Next, please. We are doing this. Okay, that's important. In Brazil, we have been working also in the law. Please, next.
Next one.
Okay. We have attended the Global Mediation Rio meeting. Next, please. Next, please. And we were working with the Supreme Court in order to, next please, in order to, okay, stop here please. We were working in, the transition is not working. In fact, in Brazil, article number 32 of the mediation law, it's allowed distance mediation. ODR is allowing the mediation law in Brazil. Okay, the mediation will have the possibility to be done on the internet or another media of communication which allow distant transaction, as long as the parties consents. That's basically its own place in Brazil from June 2015. And in Argentina, distance co-mediation, okay, is accepted by courts from 2 years up to now, and we have more than 300 cases already finished with agreements. Okay, please next. Just to finalize, I'd like to share with you that we are running a postgraduate in ODR in my university, and just to finish this, those are the subjects that the potential online mediators study. Okay, technology leveling, online dispute resolution origins, state of the art, future scenarios, globalization, communication, use of social networks, legislation about online dispute resolution and providers, emotion in the virtual space. That is a very important part of our program. Also, online mediation in action, current models, usage of mediation rooms, clinic of negotiation and distant mediation cases, and the student finalized with an integration work. Well, that's basically what we are doing here in Argentina and in Latin America. I apologize, we have some problem with my computer and the presentation. Thank you, Gemma, and I think that's give you just a roughly idea what are we doing here in Latin America.
Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Alberto. It's really lovely to have you today. Apologies for not, Alberto wanted to do the presentation himself, and somewhere along the line we lost him today, but we got you back, so that was really good to have you back here to do the talk in the end. Do we have any questions for Alberto quickly? Just waiting. Still got quite a few of you here, even though we're running over light. Okay, no worries. Okay, well, thank you, Alberto. We're fine.
Okay, bye. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I've just unmuted Alberto there. Thank you, Sarah. Successful introduction. Why is it taking so long to go global? I'm probably not the best expert. We should have asked Alberto that one, perhaps.
When it comes to going global, like we all know, when it comes to everything we do in life, change takes a little bit of time. And as people get more, as the awareness starts coming out more, what we'll discover is then it spreads around and people then embrace the fact that they can actually use online facilities to resolve their disputes. Just like everything we do in life, change takes time. And gradually it's all about the awareness. And this is a good starting point for us now. And since we are beginning to understand what it means, the benefits of doing this online dispute resolution, we can start spreading this around. We have a poll here for us. Will you consider extending the use of ODR mediation in bullying and harassment cases and grievances? That's the last poll we're going to take. Just give you another 10 seconds and then we'll wrap it up.
Everybody's voted on that? Yeah, right, I'm closing the vote now. So 50% of you said yes, 17% no, and 33% not sure. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for that. What we're now going to do, how can TCM help you when it comes to this particular area? We can offer you professional mediation and online dispute resolution services by setting up different mediation schemes. We also offer one-day courses such as core mediation skills, where you are able to understand the core skills, the framework, and how you can go about practicing mediation itself. We also deliver accredited mediator trainings in-house and open access as well. We do conflict audits and diagnostics, management and leadership training, various types we offer, and we have so much we can offer you at any given time. Please do make the most of this occasion and opportunity to contact us whenever you feel it's needed.
Okay, and just a little bit about the Professional Mediators Association. Some of you might know that we've been offering free associate membership since the 1st of April this year. That's going to be continuing right up until the National Mediation Awards, which we're holding in London on the, I think it's 13th of October. We've got scheduled in for that. We've got the National Mediation Awards nominations are now open, and we actually have a nomination for online dispute resolution, so please do get those in. We'll be holding some more webinars over the summer, so if anyone's interested in those, we'll be sending out the recording of this webinar today, and I'll be sending you all the link to Giuseppe's video, which we weren't able to see earlier on, which was a fantastic introduction, so please do try and get into it and have a look at that as well. Okay, thanks everybody. Has anyone got any final questions before we go? All right, we're all good. Everyone's going to run off and get some lunch now probably. Okay, thanks ever so much.
Thank you so much for your time today, and really appreciate it. I know we've overrun by 5 minutes, but we appreciate your participation and we are very grateful. Thank you Lee, thank you Sarah, thank you Ade Lulu. Thank you, Rita. Thank you so much for all the good, kind words and the compliments you've been passing. Dorothy, thank you, thank you, thank you, Andrew, thank you, Gioma, thank you, Alberto. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you guys, everyone, all the very best.